Infatuation into love. So I've got a couple of other videos on this topic that I feel are crucial because this really is such a vital topic and there's so many misunderstandings as to the difference between infatuation and love. In one of those videos, I talk about the differences between the two, and in the other, I demonstrate them with a very clear client example. So I won't cover those again. The links to those will be in the description. In short, infatuation is when someone unlocks something in you, usually a feeling, that your brain doesn't know how to unlock for itself, or has shamed, or for whatever it is unable to access. So that person, in this case a man, becomes like a walking, talking password to feeling a certain way, and we become obsessed with that. In today's video, I want to show you how one client moved from infatuation into love in her long-term relationship. So this client starts out quite young. She was only 16 at the time, and I didn't know her at this stage, and that was when she was first at school and met this guy. Now, this particular client had a fantastic upbringing. So she was great parents, she was well supported, she was in a good suburb, she was at a good education, she had all the standard stuff that we think will raise a healthy, balanced daughter. The one thing she didn't feel within herself was popular. She never felt like the popular kid at school. And soon she met this guy who was very much that. He was a Taekwondo champion, very popular, lots of people loved him. And for a year, she infatuated over this man. She became infatuated with him. Now, a year later, she actually became his girlfriend, and she got what she wanted. And things were great for a while. In her words, they were magical. The problem was that relationship at some point in her very early 20s started to deteriorate. So she'd been with him a little while when he started to develop narcissistic and controlling tendencies after the two of them finished school. Now, unfortunately, despite her great upbringing and despite her various things she had going for her, she wasn't able to put her boundaries in place very effectively with this first guy. She didn't want to break up with him because she loved him. And when we examined that, we realized that the feeling she got from being with him, the popularity, the love, she put that first and her boundaries started to go. Now, before she met him, she called herself fun, carefree, bubbly. And by the time that relationship ended, about 2 years ago, she did not feel any of those things anymore. So this is a woman who had most of the traits, she just didn't feel popular, and then became infatuated with that popularity she had. And she actually let that cost her other feelings that she used to get for herself. So she meets guy number 2, which is the guy she came to me about. And I said, well, what was so amazing about him? And she said, Mark, I know it was quickly after my last relationship, but it was magical. And the key thing she said was, he made me feel fun and carefree again. But now 18 months later, she says, I don't feel like that around him anymore. What's going on? What's wrong with our relationship? And what had happened, she's gone from one infatuation, and it's actually cost her a feeling, a fun and carefree mode, if you want to call it that. And so when she's met this new guy who brings back her fun and carefree mode instantly, it's like he became the new password that she had forgotten in her mind. And then because she confused infatuation with love, 18 months later, she said, hey, he doesn't make me feel this way anymore. Something must be wrong. And I had to tell her the news that it's something with you, not with him. So you never healed from your first relationship and you never got that fun and carefree mode back. This man happened to fly in, sweep you off your feet and do it for you for a while. But of course, that password never lasts. And your brain will stop responding to that stimulus eventually. It doesn't know how to feel fun and carefree on its own, and you start to think something must be wrong with him, instead of realizing it's actually something with you. I had to show this client, who'd been infatuated with 2 different men for 2 very different reasons, how to get back those feelings in herself. And only by doing this was she successfully able to turn infatuation into love. Now, there's other things you can do that are more for an early dating sense. You can slow things down. You can make sure that you're looking at the things you don't like as well, because everyone has negatives, no one's perfect. There's different ways to do this and turn infatuation into love in the early stages. I think what I want to focus on today is if you're finding you're at that 18-month or 2.5 year point, and you're finding he doesn't invoke something in you anymore that you're expecting him to, then your expectations might be in the wrong place. Really look at, well, what did he invoke at the beginning? And have I disowned that in myself? For this client, the answer was simple. She had to get her fun and carefree mode back. That was more time with the girls away from him. That was doing things she loved again. Basically, all the stuff that she stopped doing in her first relationship that cost her fun and carefree mode. That was the real solution for her in terms of turning infatuation in a long-term relationship into love. I thought it was a beautiful story, and it was a success story as well. And if you're finding that you're in the situation where you felt something very strongly that maybe you never used to, and then a man's brought it back and you've gone further and it stopped happening, this is how you can fix that. And that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Let me know, comments, thoughts, questions, as you always do, in the space below. Hit the big red subscribe button with the little bell so you get future videos as well. Thanks again for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one very soon.